Woodman Hills Metropolitan District regular board meeting for Thursday, February 27th, 2020 is now in session. It is 5:35. Roll call.
Carl Luke is present.
Eva Harold, present.
Troy Stinson present. I will motion that we excuse Russell, had a death in the family. He's out of state, and Sherry is sick. So I will motion that we excuse them from the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 3, President's welcome and remarks and rules of conduct. Welcome. I see we do have some new faces, a couple of new faces here. Welcome from Westcott Fire District, right? Okay, I remembered. Yeah. As you can see, for those of you that have been out and about, grading has started at Falcon Marketplace. Falcon Fields is in their stuff with the county right now, their final plans. I think they gave a presentation last Tuesday. So a lot of things happening within the district. Jerry will go over some of that stuff here in just a little bit. But before we get started, item 4, would somebody like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Pace. Okay, item 4 will be approval of agenda. We do have an amendment to the agenda, and we'll be adding that after public comment before other business. And that will be an executive session. Statute. For matters of negotiation, we have a response from four-way ranch that we need to discuss, as well as a personnel matter for, it is time for the general manager's annual performance review. So we'll add that in as item 12. And other business will become item 13, and then if and when we adjourn, it'll be item 14. And I will motion that we approve the agenda with those changes.
Can I make a suggestion? So that if we don't have to wait for other business, can you swap those two?
No, because we are gonna need to vote coming out of executive session on an item. And that vote will take place in other business, so we don't have to add another line item to the agenda. Okay,
Need a second on the vote?
I need a second. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, approval or disapproval of board minutes, item 5.
I recommend that one. I move to approve.
Did you get a chance to look over the updated ones?
Yes.
Okay.
I move to approve the minutes.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 6, election report.
Thanks, my name is Wayne Williams, I'm the designated election official, so we just kind of give you an update as to where we are. Publication occurred of letting people know that they're welcome to turn in nomination forms. That took place at the Ranchland News on February 13th. For those who are still pondering, your deadline is tomorrow at 4:30 at the district office. So if you are undecided, you have 3 hours roughly. I think that's it, but 4:30 is the actual time. Don't count 23 hours when I'm speaking here. As of today, we have 4 individuals who've turned in and been verified. This is as of noon today. And they are, for the 3-year term, Zachary C. Smith, Arthur W. Wilson, Neil Erickson, and Anthony Pizzi. If I said your name wrong, my apologies. And for the single 2-year term, there are 2 3-year terms, there's 1 2-year term. Steve Kinder, Paul Watson Asensio, and Walter Porter. So as of the moment, we have a contested election, which means we'll be proceeding with the process. We did have another candidate who withdrew, so I'm just telling you what it is as of noon today. And so the process when it gets sent in is I then notify the county clerk's office, we verify the person actually lives in the district according to the registered voter rolls, and that's what we go by. And then the witness must be a registered voter within the state of Colorado. And so we go through that. As of this morning, by the way, there are 5,301 registered voters in the district. Of those, 49 are UACAVA voters, which refers to uniformed and overseas citizens, and so they get their ballots mailed to them 45 days before the election, whereas other people have them mailed 18 to 22 days before the election. And that's done because it takes time for a ballot to reach a service member in Afghanistan or a person working as a missionary in China or whatever else the case, which is a little risky, so I'm not advocating that per se, but working as a volunteer civilian in China. So since they're not so big on the term missionary there. But that's the process. And so right now I'm seeking, based on the fact that we have more candidates than we have petitions, I'm seeking estimates from various printers. The 3 I've checked with are ones who are certified printers in Colorado and who have a history of performing well. That includes Runbeck, who is the one El Paso County uses, as well as K&H and Provote. So those are 3 big printers who have some experience and who know how to make sure everyone gets their ballot, which is the important part.
What was that last one, sir?
Provote.
Provo.
It's used by Weld County. And so those are ones we're getting cost estimates from so that we can make sure that we're getting it done right and also getting it done for a reasonable price. Let's see, El Paso County has agreed that we can use their 24/7 Dropbox in Falcon, but as of this morning, they're not sure where that Dropbox will be. There are a number of issues going on with the current Falcon fire station. It might be moved to the other Falcon fire station. There's construction that's going to be going on, or is going on, as well as the fire station itself having a major project that's going to be going on. And so El Paso County is aware of when we're trying to get it done, so they're trying to make the move. And as of this morning, they had not finalized everything in between the presidential primary, which some of you can still turn in your ballots for if you've not done that yet, and the special district election. So they're trying to get that done in that little window there. So that's what we're working on with respect to that, and it's kind of a brief update of where we are. There was one other petition turned in. I've not had the chance to verify it yet. But what happens when it's turned in is I send that, I verify it, and then I send an email to the individual letting them know that that petition has indeed been verified and they're on the ballot. If there's a problem with it, I let them know. And as long as there's time to correct, they can do that. So that's why I encourage people not to wait till the absolute last minute. The witness must be a registered voter. You must be a registered voter within the district. And that's the process we use, and that's kind of the quick update as to where we are. Happy to answer any questions from the board as to what's going on with that.
You had talked about polling place. How would that work?
So we're still working on that in terms of the mail ballot plan. The mail ballot plan is due, I think, March 11th, if I remember right. Yes, March 11th, and so we'll get that all finalized.
What did you say the population was? 5,000 what?
There are 5,301 registered voters. The population, given that there are probably some kids under the age of 18, it would be higher than that. And then the way Colorado law works, someone continues to stay a registered voter even if they have not voted. So some of those 5,301 may have moved. And so if that's true, then hopefully the post office then responds, lets us know, and then we can update the voter registration. It should be a pretty good list though, because everybody just got mailed a ballot for the presidential primary. So barring some really quick changes in that intervening month and a half or 2 months, it should be a pretty good list that we're going off of. Other questions? Yes? Ron?
Yeah, that would be minus 2 people, and those 2 people are in my house. One's serving in the Marines and one's my wife. Both their names were taken off the list, and we don't know why. So they're investigating. I called them today, and as a matter of fact, my wife hasn't received, nor has my son received a ballot for the last 3 elections that they're aware of. My wife last voted in an election here apparently in 2012. So I don't know what happened. I know that she turned in a provisional ballot 1 year because her ballot didn't show up. In that provisional ballot was the ability to register to vote. They have the document and can't figure out what happened. Same thing happened to my son, so they're looking into that now, so I just wanted to, you'll have at least one more, because my son's not here, and he's military now, so I don't know how that works, but they're investigating what happened, because they haven't changed anything, and then nothing in the system should have kicked them out, except for they got booted for inactivity, even though I know they voted in this election. So that's something that's very unusual. It was before you got here.
Okay, so this election isn't one of the ones that would have kept them active because it's not run by the clerk. So that could have been what it is. But for your son who's in the military, does he have access to email?
Yeah,
Or a website?
they're gonna send him his, they're gonna send him whatever he's got because he registered to vote when he got his license. And everything stops when you go overseas, as you know, everything's what it is. He couldn't figure it out, which is not a big deal, we don't have to pay for it, but they may be, 2 other people. But the one I had the problem with was my wife, literally just being kicked off the rolls, and they're now looking into it, and I talked to the guy today, and he's like, whatever, we'll get it fixed.
So yeah, as long as it's fixed when we poll and do that mailing, that'll be great.
Mhm.
So, and of course, if they're able to do that for the presidential primary, then that should take care of it. But for your son who's serving in the military, there is an ability to register, and we send that ballot out 45 days ahead of time, so as soon as he's able to.
I'll get that to you tomorrow.
Great. Other questions? Thank you, and I'll continue to make reports. Because we want to be transparent, we are putting the same report I just gave the board is actually on the webs, or is it on the website?
Will
It
be
is. It will be on the website shortly. And then we'll also give a report shortly after we verify the last of the ballots that are, or last of the self-nomination forms that are turned in. And again, this is just saying, just informational, here's what's going on, because we want to be transparent and let folks know. Thanks for your time and have a great night.
All right, item 7, attorney's report.
The only thing of substance going on right now is the 4-way negotiations, which are still going on, and will be discussed in executive session because there's a variety of options going on back and forth, so that's it.
Item 8, approval or disapproval of the financials.
I've looked at them. I moved to accept. I don't know if y'all put it.
They weren't part of the change, I know we didn't.
Nothing was changed on them. I would motion we approve them. Any
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 9, Parks and Rec report.
So facility update, we had 2,224 users at RCE for this past month. We will be having a pool closure from May 4th to May 10th. And what will be occurring will be, hold on, let me pull it up. Daniel, Courtney sent you the full names. They're gonna be draining, deep cleaning, refilling, and reheating both indoor pools. They're looking at replacing all the pool deck, we're gonna be replacing the windows at that time. They'll include, they're gonna deep clean the locker room, the pool deck, and the equipment will get a deep clean. Let me explain why it can't be done, because I'm sure you as board members will get emails on why can't you do it in January when the weather's cold and usage is low. The system that we have, the water has to drain outside. It doesn't drain in and recirculate, it drains outside. If you do it in January, it's gonna freeze, you're gonna have some ice issues. So this is the time that it has to be done, and this is the time it's been done in the previous years as well. So that is why it's being done at that time. Daniel, I think Courtney emailed you, and we're trying to put that spin on it as well, to prevent people from chatting on social media on why. I can look at the email, I just got the info there, if you got questions, just let me know. We had a parking lot, an additional parking lot light was installed. Sorry, Ted, it was a little bit a year or two late, but, the parking lot light
We
was
got the bike
installed.
back though.
Yes, you did get it back, I'm like very
That's
impressed with
astounding.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ted had his bike stolen during a meeting last year.
in the parking lot.
Yeah, so,
Motorcycle.
anyway, Mountain View Electric installed it, about 3 weeks ago. The strength equipment for downstairs will be installed March 17th, 18th, and 19th. The signs have been up close to a month already. This will require that no one can be down there using the strength equipment, because there won't be any strength equipment. They will be able to use the cardio if they want. We're gonna have it staffed during the time that the company will be here. We're giving them 3 days, hopefully we can do it in 2. Don't forget, they've got to disassemble equipment that's there, bring the new equipment in and assemble it. While this is being done, there will be a deep clean downstairs as well. We're gonna use that opportunity. Any questions on that? So if you all get questions, okay. And then the rest is just a little bit about the normal programming highlight. Again, swim lessons continue to be strong with 50. Spring soccer registration, early bird ended, and then the total registration ends March 16th, and as always, will be full. And then the games are March 30th to May 16th. Fitness classes, look you guys, we have had 367 participants, not different ones, I don't have that, but that is how many people have come in for 1 month at those fitness classes. That's just huge compared to years in the past. We have some classes that we have to cap out at 12, simply because of the size, the equipment that has to be laid out, that kind of thing. This is really fantastic, because you're touching 367 people's lives and making them have a healthier lifestyle. So that's really great. Silver Sneakers, again, continues to be strong. We get new users all the time, and we're looking at United Health. Silver Sneakers broke off from United Health. They have established their own Silver Sneakers type program, and so we're hoping to be able to accept that program within the next few weeks. We did our Valentine's tea party. We had waiters and everything. It was really quite fun. We had 30 kids and parents that came, so they had a good time. And then what's happening in March, you can see what's going on. We do have spring break from the 16th to 27th. We always get high usage. We've got various little activities going on every day. That's it.
Where are we at with the director position? Thank you, Corey.
You're welcome.
We've finished interviews, narrowing down the field, and probably call in selected candidates for a second interview.
How many total people put in?
A lot. Yeah, but you have to understand, when people look at this position, they're a lot, on Indeed, I'm sure that they just applied. A lot of people look at it because maybe they're a program manager and they want to advance their career into a park and rec. this kind of thing. It's not unusual to get a lot of applicants and a high percentage of them not be qualified.
We received a lot of applicants, and the ones we considered was still a considerable step.
Okay. And when will we have that, when will the board have that, those applicants?
So, what we're hoping is that, we'd get through this and possibly have a special meeting to finalize that decision before the end of March. You know, so we think if that's, reasonable.
Are any board members involved in interviewing or the next section, next?
The next segment, the board will be involved in the interview.
For the final,
Are you gonna hold those interviews in public?
Are there more than 3 candidates?
yes.
Then I'll wait for public.
It's a lot. There's a lot. How many?
What do you want to narrow down to?
3 to 5?
Yeah, I would say let's keep it 3 to 5.
What do you think?
3 to 5?
That makes sense.
Let's just make it 5.
Mr. Porter, I don't know the answer to your suggestion about public, I don't know what the law is off the top of my head. I don't know if it's required or not.
We have been holding in public and finding interviews.
Okay. Well, I'm not talking about practice, I'm just talking about do you have to and not, you can't, you know, which way you're supposed to do it. I don't know off the top of my head.
If they're required or are needed in public, we will have it in public, so we'll look into it and see if it's required. All right, so 5. As soon as we get it whittled down to 5, let's get a special meeting on the books. So reach out to everybody and get it scheduled. The other part of the Parks and Rec, you'll see there's nothing on there about the renovation or thing tonight. They are still working on numbers for the line relocates and all that before we make a decision on the total cost estimate for all that. Given the fact that we were looking at a substantial amount to have to move all the lines because they're not where they were supposed to be. So
Roughly $100,000.
roughly 100,000. So, how far away are we on getting all that information together?
I don't have the information for the HVAC system, actually for the gas service. I do have, I had contact with MBA this afternoon. I have to supply them with a drawing, site map, showing where the utilities are, where the footprint is, so we know what we have to do to accommodate, so.
All right. Also, CMG and the architect have both backed out of the deal on the rec center, so the plans will be reviewed by a different engineer if we indeed move forward. So. All right, item 10, water and wastewater report.
So, all systems are operational in both the water system and the wastewater system, save we had a motor and gearbox fail on our headworks. That is being corrected. We're trying to get a cost estimate, actually just the cost on replacing that gearbox. And also on the water side, We do have a well that has been pulled, the pump was taken in to have it rebuilt, and that is a warranty item for the company that does our work. We are having problems with zinc at the wastewater plant, so we had, our limit is, I believe it was 80 parts per billion, and we were at 80.7 parts per billion zinc. So we're actively investigating different areas of the collection system, trying to find where that zinc is coming from. We have found some high zinc levels, and we're going through a second round of testing to confirm those high levels before we take action. As far as the projects go, that are going on in the district, you know, El Paso County has the Old Meridian project, and Daniel is putting things on the website to try to keep people abreast of what's happening there. It is a county project. They are having a town hall meeting. I believe that is mainly for the businesses that will be affected, because Old Meridian will be, parts of it will be shut down. There will be a detour in the first phase. In the second phase, Old Meridian will be shut down. You will not be able to access 24 on Old Meridian. As soon as I have a county public information officer, I will make that known, so that if you have any questions, you can contact them. As Troy was saying, Bentgrass is underway. They're ready to start installing infrastructure, as well as is Falcon Marketplace. You'll see equipment starting to move dirt on the corner of Woodman and Meridian. And then we also have a new automotive shop that's going in, Christian Brothers, you might be familiar. They're going in over by the Safeway complex. And that pretty much covers it. Other than I'd like to say, on our West Water project, we have spent a year working with the county on our 1041. It's a permit required by the county, and they would complete it, submit it. The county would want something different, and finally, the county came up with the idea that maybe we don't even need one after all. You know, however, the county, I'm sure, is not going to reimburse us for the time and money that we've spent in engineering to comply with their regulations. So it's just one of the things that we get frustrated with in dealing with agencies, just like the county. I'm just letting you know that, we would have liked to have been much more involved in the Old Meridian project. We feel like there's lots of things that could have been done there that would have been easier and would have been prudent to do now rather than later. I have elected not to install infrastructure in that project, simply because it's a huge expense for us, and I can't be sure when we could be reimbursed for that project. Like I say, it's just unfortunate that I feel better planning wasn't done when the county didn't involve us. We have quite a bit of infrastructure in that road, and at any rate, the only work that we've elected to do is the work that absolutely has to be done to accommodate their project. And that I don't have a cost estimate on that, but I'm sure, we're probably looking at $50,000 worth of work. So.
I don't know if you know
Go
the
ahead.
answer, but I was just curious, do they know what traffic stops or what lights are gonna go in there? Did the county let you know or decide what they were gonna do?
I can answer that question to the best of my knowledge, if you would allow that. My understanding is that the county, is going to do the Meridian Road project up to the fire hall, almost to the 24.
Okay.
The lights at 24 will remain in place. Once that project is done, everything will go back to the way it was. Then the county is going to do the new Meridian project and tie New Meridian Road into 24.
Okay.
When that's completed, they'll come back to where they stopped on the old Meridian project, and then that intersection will change considerably. If you go down Old Meridian, you will be able to turn right only,
Okay.
and if you're coming down 24, you'll be able to turn right onto Old Meridian. But you will not be able to go straight across 24, nor will you be able to turn left.
Okay.
So it's gonna turn into a Garrett intersection.
What's that?
It's gonna turn into Garrett Road,
Garrett Road.
just like Garrett Road.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and, I'm sure I should add, all things are subject to change.
And that closes, they're closing that road on Sunday, right? That's what I wrote on the site, they close
There-
it
As long as there's not, yeah, there's a sign out right now that's flashing, telling you the ninth.
tonight.
Yeah, the first phase of the project, they're
Yeah,
gonna
I
actually
understand.
mill the old Meridian, the new Meridian Road that never got used. They're gonna mill all the, asphalt out of there and use that those asphalt grindings to build a detour. So if you're heading towards 24 on Old Meridian, well, actually McLaughlin, you'll be able to turn, left between the feed shop and whatever, there's kind of a street there. So you'll be able to turn left there, then make another right and end up back on Old Meridian and be able to go to 24. However, that detour will not be in place during the second phase.
So with the no 1041 needed for West Water, when are we going to bid on that?
Pardon me?
With the no 1041 needed for West Water, when are we going to bid on?
Still March.
Okay.
Yeah, we would have been able to go out to bid sooner if they would have decided sooner that we didn't need the 1041. I appreciate them streamlining the process. Just that, not that stage, I guess.
Okay. All right, public comment, item 11, public comment regarding current board business not on the agenda. Okay, Walter Porter.
Walter Porter, 9344 Bethpage Road.
It was 13 million and change, I don't have the exact figure.
What was the reason? Engineering?
What was the reason for cost overrun?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it came in less than 5% over the bid, which is very good for a project that size. Typically, projects do run over what they were originally bid at. And now, we did build a lift station, and that came in just a little more than what it was originally bid for, but very close to what it was bid for due to a lot of effort on our cost savings, as well as with the wastewater plant. We did a lot of things out there, did work in-house to save money, and so we're very diligent in watching costs. But you have to understand too that when you bid a job, things change. Especially on a job that big, costs concrete can go up, steel can go up. You just have problems like that. And also you encounter, once you start digging a hole that big, you encounter things that you could not anticipate. And so we actually had to do some structural changes in order to accommodate, construction as we progress. So, but yeah, we did very well in keeping costs under control.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What was the built-in overage acceptance on that contract? Did they do 5 or 10%?
I thought we were at just under 5%, but I'd have to,
But I know there was a built-in, we built in an allowance for overage.
yeah, oh, yeah, I see your point.
Well, they did.
Yeah, a contingency, yeah, and,
Was it,
I'm not
was it
sure
5
what
or
that
10%?
was.
Because I know they were under the 5%.
yeah.
I think it was 500 grand.
I don't, I
I
wouldn't want to
think,
speculate.
don't hold me to it, but I think the number was 500 grand, and it was 5% over that they could go. And then that was before they would need to get more pre-approval by the board that was in at the time. So they could go up to a certain amount, but 500 was the cap, and then 5% was the total. So they wouldn't have to come back and get, like you said, when the guy was in there, we don't
I
want
know
to.
the variance, we were right at the variance, or what the allowance was, so.
We're under it.
A little bit under. Good. All right. Jan Peasy.
My name is Jan Pitsy. I live at 9024 Copenhagen Road. And for some people that are new here, I used to be on this board also, and I was the Park and Rec person. I just want to share with you, before you do something that I think would be very difficult, is we hired many Park and Rec supervisor directors. And we don't have a good name out there. Woodman Hills does not have a good name in Park and Rec because of the instances that we had. We had a Park and Rec director who thought he could overthrow the district manager and our CFO. We had a Park and Rec manager who listened to a board member, and the board member kept telling them things that she should do, and it was the wrong things, and she had to be let go. We hired another one who locked himself in his office and only did his homework for getting his bachelor's degree. We had one who was supposed to move to the district, but he kept finding reasons to not move. But we still gave him the money to move, and he never paid it back. So it took us a long time to find Corey. And even though Corey and I have had our differences, and she thought I was overpowering because I did do things for Park and Rec, we still make it because I care about the community. But the one thing that gets me is that there's probably not too many people. I'm over 70, Walter's over 70. I am not computer literate. If I need something, I'll ask somebody. If something's on the website and we ask please to have a copy of it, you know yourself, because you've helped me out on my computer, that I would hope that you guys, the board members, or even Corey, would be respectful and give it to us. Walter asked for bylaws because he couldn't get them off the website. That's what Corey was seen giving to Walter, not any secrets or anything else. That's it. So she shouldn't be punished for that. So, and the other thing is, on the rec center, I was given $500,000 to do the rec center, to do the first phase, which was the bathroom. We had all the plans drawn up and everything. Well, all the bids came in, 600,000, 700,000, so we didn't do it. And I couldn't get any more money because we were doing the wastewater treatment plant, and I could not have any money. When we went to refinance, Rusty Green and Jean Cozzolino both told me, don't worry, Jan, it's gonna be in the refinancing. Well, it wasn't. So there was no money to do that. And that was in 2018, so I don't know how you guys have $1.2 million now, especially with the wastewater coming in over $3 million. So I'm just cautious because I live here, I'm on a fixed income, and I don't want it to go up that much, but I do want a rec center. And there was a time when we were getting money to pay for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pace.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mr. Pace, 12058 Real Seeker Road, Peyton, Colorado, 80831. I want to correct the record a little bit tonight. I want to say thank you to Ms. Garbadella for her assistance And the assistance she gave me was assistance, just that. No state secrets shared, just some information. Bylaws for the district, by the way, are on my website, so along with every other legal document that this district's produced in the last 12 years. You just have to look for it. Sorry, I don't know how to do it the way it would make it easy. So I want to talk about some things. In the last couple of meetings, I've been a lightning rod for a lot of things going on in this district. Judges have actually said that I'm going to be the scapegoat. Well, I don't mind that. I don't mind you yelling at me. I don't mind you screaming at me. And sometimes I just have to remember who I'm dealing with. In some cases, petulant children or spoiled children. One of the things I don't like is to find out years on up the road that things were said and done in private that should have been done in the public's eye. And some of those things that are now coming to my attention are being sent to me by anonymous sources, and I don't like to do that. It's not how I roll. I ask for records for one reason, and a lot of people are angry that I do certain things. Okay, so just to clear up something, last year I spent over $200 at the county getting records. You didn't know that? I'll bring you the receipt. They're working on it now. Nice guy, by the way, Steve Sheckler. That's his name. Then I come in here and I explain to something that somebody thinks is inaccurate, or I may not have the accurate information. Well, that's only because the source is wrong. I'm going to post the document. That's the best way to do it. You do it when you buy a house. You do it when you buy a mortgage. If someone refinances their house for $415,000 last year, and I post it, that's a fact. It's just what it is. I chase documents, and I do that for the betterment of the people that come in here at 70 or 65 and 50. Now, you can sit here and say all the negative things you want about me, and I want you to, because all that does is drive me to do a little bit more every day. Okay? And one of the things I said when I first got here is I was going to uncover the Benjamin Green saga, and I've pretty much done most of it. I'm stuck at this one little part, but I'm going to get to that, because if I get elected, I won't have to ask for Cora anymore. See, and asking is better than being on the other side of that board, because then I can just say, hey, could you please do something for me and print that document? I don't have to get into a fight with someone who thinks they're better than me. If you're better than me, good luck to you. I hope you win the lottery and move to Cancun. Take everything with you. But at the end of the day, I'm that guy that's in your corner when the chips are down, and then when the chips are up, you're like, good luck to you. Hey, I'm cool with that, because at the end of the day, I'm still that same guy. Okay, so when some of these people leave this board, and Mrs. Gabardella here unfortunately has to leave us, I can tell you right now, I'm not happy with that. So if she did do something wrong and we're unaware of it, one of the next core requests I'm going to make, and you're going to get it, okay, is to get copies of the reports that were done for the yearly reviews. Those are all subject to inspection. Now, I did get copies of the contracts, thank you, after 7 times, and they crossed them all out. I got a pretty good idea how much you make because I got your salaries. I asked for those too. I just match them up. Pretty simple, huh? But yet, no more negativity. If you guys want to go outside and rip me a new one, get a megaphone, I'll bring it for you, or humiliate me, or do whatever you got to, bring it on. You can take your best shots. You don't faze me. You may dent me a little bit. I'm cool. I can take a hit. But as far as what's going on now, everybody has to remember we're all in the same boat. And at the end of the day, we were promised lower bills. And dadgummit, as long as I'm still here, I'm going to try to make that happen. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Pace. I know, yeah, you're right. A bunch of people came in late. Was there anybody else that needed to add to public comment?
I just wanted to ask a couple questions real quick.
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah. So, Neil Erickson, 11455 Dallas Road. A couple things I noticed this week, a couple questions I should actually have. So, going over to the rec center and actually taking part on the west side. Yeah. So, I think you reported probably 2 lawsuits this week. Me probably being one of them. So, you know, it would just be good if we actually did that. That's one. 2 is, we've got a lot of talk on the news right now as far as the to a cesspool for situations like that. So I don't know if we have a proactive plan as far as the community is concerned to keep ourselves safe as far as it goes. So I don't know what the CDC recommends or what's going on, but it'd be nice to see something planned, you know, in case that gets a little bigger.
For the coronavirus?
Yeah.
That's a good point. And the CDC has not reached out to any metro districts.
But the swimming pool is a prime place, you know, it's a meeting place, and everybody comes and, you know, congregates, and, you know, we go overseas and people travel, and, you know, we have a community that's 40 plus, right? or we got a lot of young kids, and they're going to the rec center and pool center, so might be a good idea to actually take a look into some preventative measures as far as that's concerned, and then get it posted. So,
Fair point.
yeah, so that's it, that's all I have, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are doing a deep clean tomorrow, what we can, for the virus after the, recommendations came out yesterday, and the cases have come out, so we are doing, some things, especially our child locker rooms, that kind of thing.
Have they sent out anything on water or yet at all in the state? Nothing?
My daughter's an educator, she just got a fairly large document today regarding the school, she's up in Boulder Valley. And so we were just talking prior to the board meeting.
And I just mentioned in the water aerobics today too, to everybody, think about getting masks, for safety, because they are running out of them.
Yeah, the age group that it's
That's
hitting.
what we talked about in the water aerobics today.
So it's hitting people over 50 and 55. It is not being found in children, which is very unusual according to the CDC, for some reason. But it is being found in older adults.
See what we can find out. I know they're probably getting inundated right now with stuff, from what I've seen today, yes.
And the D49 sent out a message for the D49 school district. They're in close contact with CDC, sent out this afternoon. So I know that's our, the school district, so I'm sure that if you give a phone call to some
Probably get
people.
health communications from District 49 information as well, so, not just that, you get the Colorado Board for Education and that.
Let's try to get ahead of it.
I'm pretty sure that the CDC has a open source cleaning standards.
Yeah, they do.
They've posted the standards for masks and things like that, so if you just get on the website for the CDC, assuming it hasn't crashed. But-
Well, I seen they were having problems with it earlier, because right before I left, I mean, the stock market took like a 6% dive today. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, the rec center is sanitized in the locker rooms, on a morning, mid-afternoon, and daily basis. However, and it's a compound that is, used, that we purchased from Maxi. But there's also a compound that, is kind of a surface kind of thing. According to my daughters, what she got was, they told her soap and water.
So is that a compound that actually shows it's effective against something like this?
No, she said that, the Lysol wipes, it takes care of flu, whatever takes care of flu will take care of this, because it's the same type of virus type of thing. So whatever you do to prevent flu is the same thing you do here. Number one, you wash your hands and you wash the surfaces. So,
Did you leave the green? Happy Thursday.
yes.
I just like to say, when it comes to the water system, the water system is a sealed system, it's under pressure, so nothing can infiltrate. As long as you have maintained pressure on the system, nothing can infiltrate. Plus it's chlorinated, which is the disinfection. Also, when it comes to disinfection, there's a contact time that's required. So both for water and for wastewater, when we disinfect, we have to have a certain amount of time for contact time in order for that disinfectant to be effective. And I would recommend that everyone consider that when they're disinfecting surfaces. If you spray a surface and wipe it off, you've reduced your contact time.
just wiped it off.
So, and then the other, but my main concern with our operation is actually wastewater, and the guys that work in wastewater. Those are the guys that are going to be, exposed most readily, so.
Chilling the masks and stuff like that, those guys can wear?
Sure, we have all the personal protection gear that they want. But as of right now, there has been no warnings about it, but I can certainly see, if community starts showing, cases that, it'll be, the wastewater will be a real concern, and then people that work in it, so.
There's no cases in the state of Colorado, and the one case that they can't find any relationship to anything in China or Japan, or any of the other countries that have been hit, is in California. And they're
So
still
you
trying.
have a case of measles pop up and somebody flew in.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that we stay ahead of it as far as it goes. And it sure does.
Yeah, ski resort with 17 cases of mumps.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the biggest deal is, you know, everybody here in this room, you only die once. Right?
Yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed, right?
I like that.
Could happen one day.
You know,
Thanks for that.
But yes, we are, well.
I'm an optimist.
Yeah, we
I'm on the side of not wanting to die, so.
Within the park and rec, because we know we have so many people coming in, we are taking precautions.
And then that said as well, I don't like to die on the sidewalks going up to the rec center, so. if we
To
can
be
make sure.
icing, absolutely.
Especially when I
Yeah.
came in the other day and it wasn't shoveled
Yeah.
or anything until 2 PM.
I just highlighted to Jerry, who supervises the facilities manager, and he'll get in touch with him.
Great.
Okay. Anybody else? Public comment, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, motion we enter executive session for determining positions relevant to matters may be subject to negotiations under CRS 24640224E, personnel matters under CRS 246401F1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, we're now in executive session. Motion carried. What time that was, 7:18. And we are at item 13, which would be other business, and as part of that other business is, we are still engaged with Four-Way in sending, they had rejected the offer we described at the last meeting, and submitted a offer, setting up a new payment schedule on basically a 2.5, I think it's 2.5 year schedule. All other aspects of the IGA are still in place, so, I would motion that we send it back with the adjustments that we had stated, and see if they accept that.
Yep. I second.
Is that a second? Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Any other business? Yes.
Sorry, guys. I was looking at old minutes that I had of just things that were in the back of my head and I didn't see that they went forward. Back in March, there was a discussion on Circle K letter of intent for inclusion. And I never saw or heard if anything went forward, if it's still just out in limbo.
It's still out in limbo, right?
They have not come forward again. They actually had more property that they hadn't closed on yet, so they couldn't, we couldn't consider it for inclusion. And obviously that area is gonna be impacted by the Old Meridian project, so I'm not sure what Circle K is doing, but we'll have to wait and see.
And then my other one was, from August, when Falcon Fire was here, asking for an inclusion for sewer water now on the well and septic, and if anything.
And what was that again?
Falcon Fire, they came.
Oh,
to their
Falcon Fire is going to come to us for inclusion. They
Right.
want us to service them with water and sewer.
Right.
They had to acquire, or they were going to acquire an extra piece of property from Falcon Highlands.
Okay.
And so that all had to get hammered out before they could come
Oh,
for
yeah, it's-
inclusion, but they'll be coming, I'm sure.
That hasn't really been finished yet, okay. Okay, that was,
I don't remember that discussion.
That was Jerry's.
I remember that discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, and we wanted to wait until they had all the property together instead of having to do it twice
Yeah.
for two properties.
And we told them, come back, we're amenable, but, you just gotta get all your
Cool.
ducks together before you can come here with and ask us for anything.
yeah,
Okay, between this meeting, the other piece of other business, between this meeting and the next meeting, the board will work session to go through and rewrite the bylaws. So that'll be posted as soon as we get everybody's schedule and get it on there. We have everything from the new tap fees, all the other stuff that needs to be updated in the bylaws. So we'll be taking that on here in the next.
And the public is welcome to input into that. So if folks have had comments on the bylaws, we're inviting audience participation, if you will, with suggestion, comments, whatever, of how things might be amended. So it's a collaborative.
For those that don't know, the bylaws take everything from Title 32 to Title 24 to, and piece everything together, SDA, and put everything together, take out the excerpts that apply to our special district and put it all out there for the public to have easy access to it instead of doing like I've been doing for the last 2 years and reading the Title 32 CRS manual.
And the work session will be noticed, so folks will be invited to participate. So.
Okay.
Are you,
Yeah, it'll be very exciting.
are you guys working on adjusting your current bylaws or a brand new SDA template from the attorney, the SDA attorney?
Yes.
Oh,
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
oh,
Well, we did ours last year, and we found that our bylaws were so outdated that, our SDA attorney gave us a new template to accommodate all of the laws, so I didn't know if you guys were adjusting one that's already written.
Yeah, it
or
already
starting
exists. No, it already exists, but
It's from 2013.
yes,
over. Okay,
Yeah,
a lot has
so
changed.
we're
okay, I was just.
updating stuff in.
Yes.
14th of March, folks, come on in here from 3 to 6 and meet all the candidates if you want. Everybody's welcome. I'm
It
gonna
can be
put up
done
on
here?
some more things, I'm gonna put some flyers out for everybody. Everybody's welcome. I've already got this room set up for 3 hours.
Are we allowed to do that? Because the last election, we couldn't do it on our property. That's why we went over
You
to
can't do political stuff
Guadalajara.
on district property.
Heck, can we do it?
I don't know off the top of my head, but my general reaction is no.
Yeah, there's no political anything.
Yeah,
Folks.
political.
Candidates who are independent, if you will, are using a district facility to facilitate. I'm not disagreeing with the purpose of it, I'm just concerned about the location of it.
Right.
The purpose is a good purpose, it's just, I question whether this is the right physical.
I know the
facility for that.
last election, we couldn't do it here.
No, we had to go
We had
down.
to do it, they did it at the
Did it
fire.
Guadalajara.
Fire
So
station.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
But can we get a read on that and just?
See, I don't think we ever had a read on it. I think that was a decision that was made internally. So I think maybe in fairness to all the candidates, because what do we have, eight?
9?
9.
Well, the problem I have with it is you have
Maybe.
2 prior board members that if they made that decision to shut out those candidates that are running again.
No, it was office that made that decision. So, Jeremy, I don't know, Jeremy, maybe you can check it out and then just let me know and I'll either.
I don't think there's anything in the state statute on elections that prohibits it.
How about if we get a hold of Wayne?
Unless
Oh,
it's
wait,
an,
yeah,
unless
Wayne.
it's an SDA
Yeah.
issue, I don't think we don't have anything in our bylaws that's.
I wouldn't think so, huh?
No, it was
Yes.
not a last board that did it, it was internal at the office, so.
You call it something other than a candidate, whatever it is, DOLA specifically stated that the rules are you can rent the space if it's rentable. This building's rentable, so as long as you rent the space, and which is what I would be doing, and invite everybody, that means you can't preclude anybody. That means it's just people getting together, you're not holding an official meeting. So if you want, I can take down the signs for now, but as I'm gonna start advertising it, it's the 14th from 3 to 6. As I stated earlier, it's everybody welcome, and for that final thing, I'm gonna be putting in a request for what I asked for earlier. And that'll be to whoever, because I guess everybody in the office now is a core person.
In another scenario, I was president of the Chamber of Commerce, and we put on a forum for all the candidates, like you're talking about, and it was held at Town Hall.
Yeah.
So that practical example, I had dealt with that one specifically. In fairness to Corey's question, I can look into it and see if there's an issue.
Or maybe Wayne.
Well, I would like
be able to-
Jerry or Wayne to look into it first, because you charge us.
Fair enough.
And they're free.
That's why I suggested Wayne.
I appreciate you asking, offering to do it, however.
Is it out of the goodness of your heart?
The reason why
I'm
we
heartless.
stopped doing meetings here,
So why don't you ask
Hang on,
Wayne?
hang on. Go
we
ahead.
used to do town halls at the school. Everybody here knows I've been here since dirt. We had 3 town halls there. Then what happened was, the school started charging us exorbitant rates and required us to have insurance.
Yes.
So then it cost too much money, so then we just stopped doing it. The reason why they gave it to the district was because the district held the bond over the school, so they could use, under the bond rules, they could use the school. But as candidates, I've rented the school twice in elections. So then when they raised the rates, they said we couldn't do it anymore, and I was gonna pay $400. Before it was like 100, that was nothing. So in this particular case, according to Joe, who's the leading authority at SDA up there, and everybody knows Joe McConnell, if you don't, you'll just call him. He said, Ron, unless they have something in the bylaws that states you can't gather as a group of individuals to introduce yourself to the public, unless it's in the bylaws, then it's a perfectly reasonable thing to do, because you're using that building, as they said it was, a function hall, and it's a function. So if you guys say no, then it's no, and I'll find another place.
Well, here's the thing I have with it, okay, so, Mr. Williams had just presented that the county was trying to make this a polling place for the election, so if the county's willing to make this a polling
yeah, good
place
point.
in this room, why couldn't the
Yeah.
candidates meet
Yeah.
and greet here?
Okay, point of order again, this used to be the polling room. For 2 elections, this is where you cast your votes. Okay, everybody knows that because I filed a complaint against 2 individuals coming up here and trying to do what they shouldn't have done. So this used to be the room where we cast votes. If they do it again this year, which would be a super idea, because then people won't have to chase around for voting, then that was one of the reasons why we were allowed to use the room. So, great point of order on that one.
Is it a polling place this year too?
We're trying, he had just was working with, said before the meeting that they're working with the county, because all the issues with the boxes and the construction and not having to have people drive out to Black Forest. It'd just be easier to have the county approve us to set a polling place here
Yeah.
and man it, this is where you cast your vote.
I'm sending him, excuse me,
Yes.
I'm sending him the measurements of, he needs a measurement.
There's a
so-
certain,
Sure.
there's a
Yeah.
requirement
Yeah, I'm
for
sending
how
him
big
those
the
tomorrow.
area has to be, so.
Yeah.
This is actually bigger than what it used to be because of the dividing wall right here that they took down. This room is now a third bigger than what it used to be.
We're talking about a room that's a polling place,
Yes.
as opposed to a Dropbox?
Yeah, they would either mail in or come cast their votes here.
Yeah, that's what we used to do.
Well,
The sign
mail
used
is
to be out there.
expensive.
I mean, as of, something might have transpired that I don't know about, but at the last meeting, but Wayne was definitely talking about the county establishing its Dropbox somewhere here on district grounds, but not having the polling place be in a room.
He'll, when he brings us, after we have all the candidates after tomorrow, when he brings the actual document to the board of how they're gonna do this election, whether it's mail-in or Dropbox or whatever, he's working with the county about just having this be a polling place and a mail-in, and then we don't have to, they don't even know, hell, they don't know where they're moving that Dropbox to yet.
Fire station on Meridian. They're thinking about putting it over there permanently because it's in a great spot. And they have cameras there.
So
But it's gonna be a pain for the next couple
Yeah,
of years.
they're
with
thinking about putting it in the
construction.
back along that, instead of the front, they're gonna put it in the back. But I talked to Mrs. Angie today, the director, and that's what they're thinking of. It doesn't mean they're going to.
But he's working on all that, he said he'd have it for us here soon, so,
to wrap up the prior discussion, somebody's gonna contact Wayne about the ability to use the building as a
Yes.
candidate for him.
thank you. Jerry is. I don't think the board has any issues with it being used. I don't have any issues with it.
Nope, as long as,
Sherry's have any issues with it? Russell? Nope, they don't either. Okay.
Is that it?
You're
No
gonna
other
be
business?
snacks.
All right,
Oh, there'll be
with motion we adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.